Is it true that the judge stopped the court trial to check Amber Heard's drink? Because it was all over the social media and no one really understood what was in her water bottle and why she was hiding it from the court officers. Some people claim that Heard was drinking alcohol through her water bottle, and people around the globe have been looking at the videos of Amber, asking one another for their opinions. What was she drinking? It is impossible to say for sure what Heard was drinking, but the video has been going viral on social media. People spotted that Heard was preparing to take a drink and then quickly screwed the cap onto the bottle and placed it in her pocket when she sees a court officer nearby. What was she hiding? This has led many to suspect that Heard is drinking alcohol during the trial, although there has been no definitive proof that she is doing that. Bringing alcohol into the courtroom would certainly be ill-advised, especially in a case in which so much of Heard's testimony hinges on her claims about how Depp behaved while he was intoxicated. The speculation that Heard was drinking was furthered after it was announced that authorities were banning the use of bottled drinks inside the courtroom. The decision was made before Heard took the stand to testify, and the same announcement had been made before Depp's testimony. What was Amber Heard sniffing? People on social media found and shared a video of Heard sniffing a tissue in a non-conventional way. Many people believe that Amber is sniffing cocaine during the trial. In the video, we see Amber with a tissue in her hand, which she didn't take from the box. She sniffed something from the tissue. There are harsh penalties for consuming or carrying drugs in a courthouse, and the security team makes sure you don't carry any illegal substances. So the tweet and TikTok video miscaptioned the clip, which was pulled from the second day of Heard's testimony against Depp. In the beginning of a full video, a box of tissue is visible on the right side of the stand where Heard is making her testimony, within reaching distance. At numerous times in her testimony, Heard was visibly emotional and sniffing while speaking. At any point in the testimony, she could have reached out to grab a tissue. 12 minutes into the longer version of the video, before the alleged cocaine sniffing occurs, she is seen reaching for a tissue on the left side of the stand and wiping her nose. She then folds the tissue and puts her hands down. She brings the tissue back up a few minutes later to wipe her nose. There is no evidence that the tissue carried cocaine or that she was sniffing drugs during her testimony. Moreover, it strains credulity to suppose that a box of tissues provided to all witnesses by the court would be laced with cocaine, or that the defendant would brazenly snort drugs mere feet from the judge. Analyzing her body language. According to an expert, Amber's body language was very revealing during one cross-examination moment in the trial. Body language expert Janine Driver analyzed how long Heard closed her eyes during one point of the cross-examination, which was very telling. At one point, Heard says, "I could never hurt Johnny." Driver analyzed Heard's body language and the significance of the words she said. Depp's lawyer, Camille Vasquez, addressed Heard saying, "You said to Mr. Depp, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. I, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence." Heard confirmed she said it. "I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes. I thought it was preposterous," she answered. Vasquez asked, "And the man you beat up numerous times, right, Miss Heard?" And Heard answered, "I could never hurt Johnny." Driver provided her insight about Amber's reaction. "We see a 5-second eye close. She does this 5-second eye close. This is instrumental with detecting deception," the expert said. "We had Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shannon, his 2 young daughters Celeste and Bella. He did a 1.5-second eye close. If I asked everyone at home watching to close your eyes for 1.5 seconds while listening or talking, you'll see how dramatic it is. Amber does 5 seconds. Scott Peterson murdered his wife, pregnant also. 2-second eye close. Then we have 9 seconds. Ted Bundy. So she is between a Scott Peterson and a Ted Bundy here. I'd say it's like a screensaver on your cell phone. That screensaver comes up so you don't see my private information that I don't want you to have access to. So she's telling us she doesn't want us to have access to it. That's number 1, Driver said. Driver then looked at Heard's word choice. Number 2, she uses minimizing language. Amber says, "I could never hurt Johnny." That's future tense, not "I didn't hurt him." The question was not about hurting, it was about what? Abuse. This is about domestic violence. When people are lying, I want you to understand, they will use minimizing language. the expert explained. Driver compared the language to Depp's during his testimony. "I could never hurt Johnny instead of abuse Johnny." Guess why this is significant? Because Johnny Depp on the stand said, "People are saying I'm a wife beater." He uses the language. It is unlikely that a truthful person would say wife beater. We get Johnny on the stand giving us what's indicative of a truthful person. We've got Amber doing the opposite, she explained. Actor Meredith Ann Bull watched Heard's testimony during the trial and provided an actor's perspective on what she saw. Bull started her video by saying an actor's job is to study human behavior to make acting seem more natural. She noted that all humans express emotion and trauma differently. But Bull said Heard's testimony wasn't believable to her. "What I saw today was like a massive performance to the jury. Do you believe me? Do you believe me?" But knowing that she has a performer background, to see her being so big and seeing that she's trying to get eye contact with every juror, I don't know about you, but anytime I recall trauma, I am not trying to see if every person is making eye contact with me. If anything, I'm actually probably shying away from eye contact because it's such a vulnerable, personal moment, especially what she was talking about, which is abuse and domestic violence and all sorts of crazy stuff. I thought that was a little weird, Bull said. Body language expert Judy James watched the same Heard testimony as Bull, and she formed a different opinion. Heard turning toward and looking at the jury helped establish a personal connection, as she said. James said Heard directly addressing the jury was a sign of respect. She also noted that her hairstyle also helped the jury see Heard's testimony and eyes more clearly, which engenders trust as if she has nothing to hide. James also noted Heard's varied and complex facial expressions, which could signify conflicted emotions. Her hair is always draped to her left, meaning that the jury has a clear view of her face, both in silhouette and as she turns to address them directly. We tend to trust people more when we can see their eye expressions, so this gesture could suggest she has nothing to hide, James noted. James also noted that the facial expressions revealed conflicted emotions. "We saw her talk about her childhood and her siblings, and it would be true to say that her facial expressions tend to be complex, suggesting mixed emotions, even when she is talking about something that makes her happy. Her smile only involved the raising of one side of her mouth." The body language expert said Heard's testimony might engender trust from the jury, even if the actor might appear conflicted on the stand. From her actor's perspective, Bull said Heard's testimony was performative. At the end of the trial, however, the judge and jury have the only opinions that matter. The Behavioral Arts YouTube channel takes a look at the trial, and it starts with digging into Heard's disposition in her trial against Depp. He explains that she frequently had shifty eyes when someone was talking to her. The most likely reason was a condescending lack of interest. The expert believes that it signals, "You are not important enough to hold my attention." Heard frequently had defensive body language, such as the aggressive way that she scratched her shoulder to where she nearly knocked off her microphone. Her lawyer's objection to some of the questioning found Heard looking down, indicating that she was thinking about what to say next. What do you think about Amber Heard? Are you Team Johnny? Let us know in the comments down below.